But there is no shortage of energy conversation around the world, and in particular for frontier economies in sub-Saharan Africa. We go back to South Africa, that is looking to leverage renewable energy as a means of taking power outages back to zero. The country's president, Cyril Ramaphosa, is taking the lead in discussing what is being done in that regard. Let's listen.
Thank you very much. And firstly, I think I'd like to thank Global Citizen for focusing on the challenges that many countries face in the world. And as you correctly said, many people on the African continent still live in darkness. We've got millions, almost 600 million people, who do not have access to electricity. But the decision that was taken at COP28 to triple renewable energy then yields a number of opportunities for us in Africa, in that moving towards renewable energy, and even if some are starting from zero, means that there are great opportunities to ensure that people get energy, clean energy, much cheaper energy. Africa is well endowed with sun and wind, and that can be utilized to good effect to grow our economies, to ensure that at a social level people have access to electricity. But of course, this does not come as cheap as one would think. It requires finance, it requires clear decisions by leaders, not only on the African continent, but by leaders globally. And it is good that COP28 took that decision. So what we would like to see is that measurement that Her Excellency van der Leyen has spoken about being acted on, where we get a really good partnership as the African continent with the more developed economies, so that we can follow through on some of the commitments that were made, because those commitments then lead to the opportunities that you were talking about. And with those opportunities, we are then able to get finance, we're able to get technologies, we are able to ensure that our economies grow and enterprises are spread around the African continent. In the end, as Her Excellency says, it is energy that drives growth, that drives economies. So renewable energy then gives us those opportunities. And in South Africa, we are taking up that opportunity for renewable energy. We faced enormous challenges in the past 3 years with regards to energy, and the reliance that we've had on fossil fuels is what has taken us back. But now with having taken the decision to have more and more renewable energy, we're actually seeing expansion. We're seeing the private sector coming in and installing really good renewable energy going forward. So there are great opportunities. We've experienced it in South Africa, and we want this to be spread. But as we go towards renewable energy, there must be a just transition, because there is a transition that we in South Africa are having to go through, but it must be just, and it must be the type of transition that advances the interests of ordinary people as it grows the economy. So the opportunities are enormous, and we just need to utilize the enablers to ensure that there is benefit for everyone.
And President Ramaphosa, just before we move on, can you just elaborate for everyone, when you refer to the just transition, can you explain for those in the room who aren't familiar with that term, what that really means for economies like South Africa?
Well, just transition means that as we move towards renewable energy, we should not just say that we will transition to renewable energy without taking into account the livelihoods of ordinary people.
Yeah.